I'm Eric Kane. He's Rob Lewis. Tennessee position previews roll on here at Volquest.com. Today we are talking about the offensive line. And Rob Lewis, we talked about on the podcast a couple weeks ago. We're nitpicking here compared to where the roster was in 2021. We're splitting hairs, but left guard really is the only true open spot on this offensive line. They got to find an answer there, but at least there's some experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're just throwing a dart at the wall at the roster on the wall and hoping to see what sticks. I mean, you got Jackson Lampley, who's been around forever, has played some football here. You've got Andre Carrick, who has been around. You started at Texas, has been here, has played some football. Promising young guy, Sham Umarov, and if you need him, you've got the veteran Dane Davis in there that can play everywhere in a pinch. So it's not, again, it's like we talked about it, but it's a sign of where Tennessee has come from. When you look at worry spots on the offense, who's going to play left guard, and you're choosing from a couple guys that have played before. But that's what we do, and that's going to be a focal point of fall camp. Who comes out there?
Yeah, and Shan would be the only one that has not started games or played significant roles so far. Of course, a true freshman last year, but you want to look at it this way: Andre Carrick started the first couple games at guard last year. Jackson Lampley ended the season by starting the last couple of games at guard, and Dane Davis has been all over the place. So we'll see what that left guard position looks like. Let's continue on the interior. Cooper Mays is your center, obviously a first-team preseason All-American by Walter Camp and I believe Phil Steele. Backup center continues to be a question. Rob, I think if the season started today, that would be Dane Davis being the swing man, but obviously Bison Lane got a lot of work in spring, as well as William Satterwhite.
Yeah, been a huge season, or a huge off-season for Bison Lang. I mean, he's got a chance to really, Cooper's your starter no matter what.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's got a chance to really, earn some trust from the coaching staff, whether or not he can be reliable. Not just, how he goes about football stuff, but the weight room, his body. What is he, what kind of discipline does he show there? Big all season for him. But I think you're right. Just if something were to happen to Cooper early, knock on wood, I think they would probably have the most confidence in Dane just because of the experience factor.
Yeah, of course, Ollie Lane had to slide down, play center last year. Jerome Carvin's had to do it in years past. They got to find a center of the future at some point, but as long as Cooper Mays is in there, Tennessee should be okay. Let's work outside, look at the tackles. Lance Hurd, a massive, no pun intended, addition to the offensive line, former number one signee for LSU in the class of 2023. He is going to be Tennessee's left tackle on the right side. Seventh-year veteran John Campbell is going to be on the right side to bookend that. Dane Davis, again, is the swingman, but also some young guys in spring. Hubbs has mentioned Jesse Perry several times, Gage Ginther, Larry Johnson. It feels like entering camp, you have more confidence in the tackle position than you did ending last year.
Yeah, it just seems like you tackle bodies for whatever reason, missed evaluations, transfers, injury, whatever. It doesn't seem like Tennessee has had a lot of tackle bodies in the last 2 or 3 years. And, I'm not saying they've got a bunch of all pros out there right now, but you do have some depth. And, man, Lance Hurd, Tennessee's done a great job finding help in the transfer portal at the tackle position. Maybe, we got to see it, but it looks like potentially they may have done their best job yet getting a plug-and-play guy, which they have done, now 3 years in a row there.
Yeah, Javonte Spraggins coming off injury. Of course, he's a multi-year starter. Cooper Mays, a multi-year starter. John Campbell's played a lot of football. Lance Hurd, this will be his first time being a true starter, but all the potential in the world. We mentioned left guard. This is a veteran-led offensive line. You lost some from last year in Ollie Lane and some other key pieces, Gerald Mincy as well. But it does feel like you have confidence in the offensive line, and let's not forget, they're going against this defensive line and Rodney Gardner every day in practice. Iron sharpens iron. Those two sides of the football are going to make each other better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an underrated aspect of fall camp, and I think this is something that a wily veteran like Brett Hubbs will talk about. He expects, he'll expect the defense to be, ahead of the offense, especially early. And you look at that defensive front with so much experience, but at the same time, I think you make a good point, Eric. I mean, Tennessee's offensive front is going to benefit from that. And let's not forget, I mean, you may not see, I know Cooper's getting some preseason accolades and Hurd, we expect to be great. May not be a lot of all-conference top guys there, but man, Tennessee and Glenn Ellerby have had a lot of success just piecing things together, putting together cohesive units. Over 200 yards a game on the ground last year. I mean, was there a superstar on that offense? I mean, Darnell a couple of years ago, number 10 draft pick, but still Tennessee last couple of years has rushed for 200 plus in the SEC with at times a patchwork offensive line, and frankly, this may be the best unit that they worked with yet. So I mean, I think you got to have some confidence.
Yeah, and totally, you want that veteran leadership and that experience with a first-year starting quarterback, and of course a new look backfield led by Dylan Sampson. He's Rob Lewis. I'm Eric Kane. Tennessee's offensive line looking to pick up where it left off last year here for football season in 2024.